Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Or is it multiverse?
Tomato type
Guess it depends
situation.
on which universe you belong in, right? Okay.
I like that.
So first, let me ask you, what do you think? Like, have you seen the trailers for it?
I've seen little snippets. Never fully watched the trailer.
Okay. And
And the whole like WandaVision post credits trailer. Is that what we're calling? No, that was the Far From Home post credits trailer.
The No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah.
It's the problem of having the same word in all of your titles.
They did
so
that
you've seen those little parts here and there. Have you heard it from people, like whether they liked it or not?
I actually haven't. I haven't read any like reviews from people that watched it, so I'm like going into it blind, which is good.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's
but
really
you
good.
might be influencing my decision now. You might be setting the bar.
We'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna do my very best to not spoil anything. I think I'll be pretty good at it, and I'll try to be more of a generalized review on the movie. So Doctor Strange coming in at about 2 hours and 8 minutes. Not the longest Marvel movie, and I think the time was fine. But I did hear that there is a 2 hour and 40-minute long cut that was the original intended time for the movie. And they had to cut it down. So I'm really curious to know how that would have changed the movie for me.
They're saving it for a post-release DVD
Maybe,
release
and if
thing.
they do, I'll be happy with it because I believe it could be rated R.
Oh?
Yeah, I truly believe that. So it's Sam Raimi. We know Sam Raimi from the original Spider-Man movies. We know Sam Raimi from Evil Dead, Ash versus Evil Dead, and Army of Darkness from a long time ago. And like, are you familiar with those movies?
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
so
so much Army of Darkness, but
you know who Bruce Campbell is, right?
Oh yeah, the Usher guy.
Yeah,
he was in. Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's actually in all 3 Spider-Man movies. He plays different roles.
I forgot which ones he was, but he was like a waiter, and then the usher, and then something else.
Oh shoot, you know what? Now I can't remember because you're right. He was the waiter in the second one and usher in the first one. I don't remember what he was in the third one, but anyway, as expected, Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, they're going to be together. That's a soft spoiler. I'm sorry. Getting to the review part.
That's like expecting Quentin Tarantino is going to make a cameo in his movies. It's expected at this point.
Yeah, okay. All right, but regardless, sorry. I really like this movie. I'm not going to say it's my favorite. It's not. I would still put Spider-Man. I would even put like Infinity War and Endgame above this one. And I've talked to a few people. I think the minority of the people that I've talked to give it a lower rating, but most people that I've talked to have liked it. And we all kind of like rated around the same range, which is about 7 to 8 out of 10. But I feel like everybody has different reasons as to why they like the movie. For me, I mean, I'm a sucker for Sam Raimi. His style of editing is just very unique to me, and I love the way the movie is filmed because it has that taste of Sam Raimi, like a lot of zoom ins and a lot of like close ups and stuff like that. I'm
not
very
a fan of zooms, but okay, yeah.
You're not a fan of him?
No, the zooms. Everything else I'm fine with.
It's not bad. It's not as bad as like the older stuff, but you can tell it's his movie. He does a really good job at grabbing the characters and oh man, how can I put this in non-spoiler words? He does a good job at showing the characters' emotions and motives and actions and making you feel the way you should. I don't know if that
Okay.
makes sense.
All right.
I don't know if that
Okay.
made a lot of sense, but I hopefully you get what I'm saying. If you've seen the movie, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta go see it. There are a couple of little things that I could nitpick at as far as like certain characters, like character development. I feel like some parts were a little flat, and I feel like the movie was so fast paced that I didn't get a chance to really like take it all in, right? So I'd like to think of this as okay, the operation scene in Spider-Man 2 with Dr.
Okay.
Octopus.
Yeah. Yep.
You grab that scene and you make a full movie with that feel.
Like a horror?
Yeah, almost. Almost. It's like it's
Okay.
borderline horror, right? You still have like the cheesy moments like okay, so like in the scene in the operation scene, there's this one part where like the doctors are like running away and
Is it
screaming.
that part?
Yeah, yeah, with the nails. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like comical, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's nice because it is comic, right? Like I'm trying to make a pun here. But I feel like there's a lot of that. I feel like he actually grabbed elements from comic books and he actually implemented them well into the movie. And I feel like some people are taking that as like, oh, it's too cheesy. And I'm like, have you read a comic book? They're cheesy. Like that's what they are. They're comics. And that is one of the reasons why I like this movie a lot is I feel like it has a good element of fun, suspense, horror, and cheesiness and cheesiness, and it blends really really well. Um, it
Have
also
okay.
it also kind of feels it felt like a Marvel. Ugh, you know what? I don't want to say this because this might be a bit of a spoiler. So it's action packed. It's just it starts and it goes all the way through, and
Nonstop.
yeah, it's just a nonstop movie. I just really liked it. I thought it was very enjoyable. It kept me at the edge of my seat. There's always something new going on. There's very few parts where it kind of like slows down or it takes too long, but overall, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like the pacing was bad. Um, yeah, yeah, that's.
All right. I
My
think
rating is 8 out of 10.
I feel like I got a very neutral review in that sense. It's not overhyping it, it's not underhyping it. Um now that you've seen it, did you want to talk about the trailer of watching trailer versus not watching the trailer?
Yeah.
Or you want to say that for the next?
So no. So I think last time I don't know if we said this in the podcast or if it was just between you and me, but um, so like you, I didn't see anything about this movie besides the trailer that we see at the end of Spider-Man: No Way Home. So
Mhm.
that's all the context that I had, and then WandaVision, and like everything that came out before. Like I'm caught up, right? But as far as like specific or like trailers for the movie, clips and stuff like that, I stayed away from all of that. And yeah, I would see a picture here and there pop out, but it was usually like just Doctor Strange or Wanda or uh Wong, right? And so and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go on opening night because one, I wanted to feel the energy of the theater, and two, I wanted to go before I got any spoilers. So,
Yeah, too late for me on that one.
yeah,
I don't
and
know
we're
if
gonna
I'm gonna
talk about
survive till next week,
we're
honestly.
we're gonna talk about this next week about the spoilers. But interesting enough, so okay, well, first of all, I accidentally bought tickets to a small theater. So there was only like 40 people in there versus I don't know how many there usually are. So I feel like that energy that I was looking for, I didn't really get it.
Oh, that's lame.
So I was a little bummed about that, but it's fine. And two, when we were going in and we give our tickets to the usher to go to the theater, they had like four, what do you call them, like life size cutouts, like cardboard cutouts.
Okay.
And you have Doctor Strange, you have Wanda, you have Wong, and then there's this little girl. and
Spoiler.
she's
Okay.
this little girl, and she's wearing like this jean jacket. She looks like a civilian, and I look at my wife, and I'm like, "Who's that?" And she's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "I don't know who that is either." Like, but obviously it's an important character because there's a freaking cutout of her like right here, right? So that was great. It was great not knowing 100% exactly what was going on. Not
Have
knowing
you
the
seen the
plot,
trailer yet?
yes, and it does spoil things.
It does. Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, it
Okay.
does. Um, there again. I think I want to go into this talk about the trailer next episode once you've seen it, because there's some specifics that I'm very passionate about that I don't want to talk about right now, because I'll go on a rant for like 5 hours. But watching the movie with no trailers was amazing. Um,
Would you recommend doing that?
yes, I do. I haven't seen the trailer for Thor, and I don't plan on it. I just want to go in blind as I can. Obviously, there's probably going to be spoilers here and there. There's going to be thumbnails on YouTube. I'm on YouTube like 10 hours a day anyway. But it was a great experience. I like, so going back to like what you said, I don't need a trailer to be pumped for the movie. I'm going to watch the movie anyway. I'm going to watch the show anyway. And I feel like we live in such a society of you have to be the first one to know everything. And I kind of was into it for a long time. Even with Spider-Man, I was like, yeah, I want to know. And then I realized that I just ruined a lot of the surprises for me. And like going into the movie, the things that I knew were gonna happen, or I anticipated were gonna happen, I feel like it kind of loses its value a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
and
Totally
that's one
agree.
of the reasons why I don't want to watch trailers. Trailers these days, and especially for movies of this sort, like Marvel, DC, and franchises, really, they they like to throw hints, and they do it on purpose. I understand why, but they throw hints, and we're smart. Well, not everybody, but uh, I mean, like, I mean it in a sense of like somebody that's been caught up with all of the movies will watch a trailer, and if the trailer throws a hint at you, you're gonna be able to connect the dots, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure this is what this is." And
Mm.
then you start talking about it with somebody else, and then they'll like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And then they'll bring out another point, and you start like throwing all these like theories and stuff like that. And then you've predicted your whole movie. And so when you go to the movie, like, what's the point? Like, is it
Yep.
just to watch it come true? And although I do feel like there's a bit of satisfaction in that, I think I've gotten to the point where I just rather be surprised.
Why ruin your experience by spoiling it? That's why I'm a big I'm a big advocate for not spoiling or ruining your cinematic experience,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I mean, yeah, you watch a trailer, but you're ruining it for yourself. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you know this information over everyone else. The movie is a you experience.
Yeah.
Why
Exactly.
ruin it?
I think of it. The second Spider-Man trailer uh, showed most of the villains that were gonna fight against Spider-Man, and everybody gets pumped. I was pumped. I'm like, holy crap! Like we have all these villains. Like that's amazing. Uh, but imagine not knowing who
Oh,
was
it was
gonna be
great.
in it.
It was
Like
great.
imagine not knowing that Green Goblin was gonna be in it, or that Electro was gonna be in it. Like if you don't know that the villains are gonna be in the movie, you would have had less expectations of like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to show up,
Yeah.
because you don't know. You don't have that hint of the multiverse like coming together for Spider-Man. And I think that was part of it. It's just like the trailer kind of ruined that for a lot of people, I think. And watching the trailer for Doctor Strange after watching the movie, I was like, I would have been able to predict half of the movie by just watching the trailer. And maybe I'm being a little nice because I have seen the movie, but it does ruin certain elements of surprise. And so yeah, I'm glad that I waited. I'm gonna do the same thing with Thor, like I said, and I I mean, do you watch trailers? Is that the first thing you do? Do you like deconstructing them and theorizing about them? Have you ever not watched the trailer and see what that's like? Because if you haven't, I challenge you to do that. I promise it'll be amazing.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it more because you'll just when something happens, you'll be like, "Whoa!" So hyped up rather than, "Oh yeah, this is the part when this happens," you know. But yeah, next week, tune in next week, everybody, because we're gonna be talking about more into it. Hopefully, if we're able to find a babysitter and I'm able to watch the movie. But yeah, anyway.
Wow, spoiler talk. Spoiler talk
Yes.
next week.
Subscribe and like notification bell so you can be notified of when that will come out.